What's going on, everybody? I'm doing this little 3D print series in favor of my new or recurring long overdue Iron Man project. Project Stormbreaker has been in the works for a couple of years now. I haven't fully gone into it. I have, or fully immersed myself into it, I should say. I've been struggling ever since I started posting online and stuff like that. Originally, I was printing the helmet, and it's a little too big. And this was using silk PLA, which, not the most strongest thing, as you just heard. That cracking noise was something cracking. And yeah, this is not the most strongest of materials. So what I'm doing now is, and you can see the printer going back there. What I'm doing now is repurposing the helmet. I shrunk it down and hopefully got it to the right size to fit my head. Yeah, now I'm just trying to print off the helmet and hopefully get officially started with this new Iron Man project. You're gonna see this running in the background, printing in most of my entries or vlogs or whatever you want to call them. I call it a journey to hell because 3D printing these parts and getting the right scale is all about trial and error, and essentially, while I go through this highway to hell, I'm going to be sharing my experience with you guys. Really, that's just about it. I'm not really going to be explaining too much in these videos, other than the basic stuff on what's happening and what's going to happen, and what I'm going to improve on as I go along. If you want more in-depth videos on how to properly print an Iron Man suit, there is a YouTuber out there called Frank, and his channel is called Frankly Built. It's a very good, he's very good at explaining these things, and I would recommend checking out his channel if you want a very, self-explanatory step-by-step on how to do this. But if you just want to see how the process is done, I'm going to walk you through my process and how my progress is going to go. I have shown off the undersuit on social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram. What I won't be doing is showing off that again. I've already showed off plenty of times through social media of the undersuit, so I won't be showing that off. It's basically just, by undersuit I mean the clothes that I'm going to wear underneath the suit once it's printed. I don't exactly have a designated spot. I am in my studio, but it's also my bedroom. And even though it's a fairly big room, I have other things that I'm doing, like Transformer reviews and a bunch of other stuff. But as of right now, the only thing I'm concerned about is getting this helmet done. I have been pushing off this helmet for so long. off and on printing it, and I need to get it done. I'm more tuned in now, more aware of how to work the settings on the slicer back there on my computer. So I'm hoping I won't have too many problems going into this. However, there is one issue that I will run into, and that is the torso of the suit. I have a very tall and wide figure, not shoulder width, but more gut width, and fitting into a cosplay, a 3D printed cosplay like this, even with TPU, which is a flexible material, that is going to be a little difficult for someone like me. I know you can't see my full body right now because I'm sitting down in my chair, but you'll see as we go along with this project that certain parts may not fit me right away, and that's because of the way that my body is changing. I'm currently going through a weight loss sort of thing. My way of saying I'm working out at the gym right now, and basically once I lose weight and keep that weight off, I'm going to then print the body for this. I'm not gonna necessarily work on the whole body. I'm gonna work on focus on the upper chest and shoulder area. Mostly the upper chest, upper back, shoulder area. The midriff, the stomach area, the waist. That will probably be the last thing I do. So right now I just want to get the helmet done, because that's the only part that I have to put electronics into. Other than that, the arc reactor, I have a specific arc reactor that I found online, a replica one that is cheap enough that I could use it as just a tap light sort of deal. It's a switch on, switch off, rechargeable battery type thing. And then for the palm repulsors, I'm just going to use little tap lights, little clicky tap lights that I can easily tap and just turn on. But as far as making these videos goes, I am not going to be explaining much other than how my process is going and what parameters I'm using. Everybody has different bodies and different sizes depending on their body shape. So the best thing I can tell you is go watch Frankly Built, and come back when you have a better understanding of how to start these things. For me, I am just going to print off as much as I can, and hopefully work from there. So the helmet is off of the Mark 17 files, and that's the other thing. I am making a completely custom Iron Man suit of my own. I am not making any sort of like particular Iron Man suit. It's my own custom design that I've been tinkering with for a while, and whatever I print is going to be the finalized design, and essentially that's what's going to come out. So furthermore, what's going to happen is I am going to print the helmet. That's the first thing. I'm going to motorize the helmet using Frank's videos on how to motorize the helmet. So I'll probably do a review on that sometime in the future. But for now, I am just going to focus on printing the actual helmet pieces. The helmet is based off of the Mark 17. by do3d.com. Frankly Built has a promo code for do3d, and you will definitely need that promo code for buying whatever it is you're getting, like whatever soup files you're getting off of do3d.com if you get them off there. They're also available on colts3d.com. But do3d specifically, you can use Frank's promo code, Frankly Built's promo code, and it will it'll allow you to discount the price down from over $120 to $90-something. It's an amazing promo code. It basically allows you, and my computer is turning off. Don't want that. Sorry about that. But basically, you don't want to be paying a bunch of money for these files. I mean, they're 3D print files. You shouldn't be paying more than $100 for any of them. Now, I get it. It's still a little steep. But it's not as steep. The files I found go down to about $95, $96, give or take, depending on the price. Most file sets are full suits, and they usually end up being about $95 to $96, give or take, after using the promo code. I'm not going to share the promo code because it's not my place to do that. But go check out Frankly Built's YouTube page on his Iron Man playlist. There is promo code. His promo code for do3d is on most of his videos. Just click any of them, specifically the Iron Man videos, and you'll find his promo code. I just want to say thank you to Frank if you're watching this. You've been a huge influence on me as far as the Iron Man videos, the process of how to do this. I took some liberties with your words, and now I'm just working to print my own. But yeah, as far as right now, the main part of the helmet just started printing. There are 3 major components to the Mark 17 helmet. There's 2 file sets you can get the helmet from. There's the specific helmet itself. There's a more detailed helmet design by itself on do3d.com. And then there's a full Mark 17 suit file set. And I ended up getting the full suit file set, even though I only needed the helmet. The only difference is that there's 2 extra additional detail parts that go like right here on the helmet. In these slots right here. That's the it's just a little detail piece that goes in here. Nothing really too spectacular. Just a separate little piece that I just won't have on my helmet because it'll, the full suit files don't come with that piece. So the other reason I'm picking this specific helmet is because it comes with a file set for the motorization brackets. Now, I'm going to have to modify those motorization brackets because of the size. So because of the size of the helmet, the brackets are going to be a little bit on the bigger side. But what I'm going to do is find some way to modify the bracket files so that the main motor piece that holds the servo motors stays the same size, but the brackets will be slightly bigger. on the ends that attach to the helmet. Mainly just so that it doesn't, like, cause any problems. Although, technically speaking, I only need to modify the two additional brackets, the support arms, or the helper arms, I think is what Frank called them. So the two helper arms that go on against your temples, those are the only parts that need to be modified to be bigger. The servo motor arms that are up against your forehead and actually lift the mask up, those don't really need to be modified any bigger than they already are. Mainly due to the fact that the smaller arms that actually attach to the servo motors, A, they have to attach to the servos, and B, they have a little bar bracket thing that attaches to the forehead of the mask. And then speaking of which, there's three components to this helmet. There's the main helmet, which I'm printing now, the back plate, which is held in by tiny little magnets, which will vary in size depending on the size of the helmet. Then there's the actual face mask itself, which will lift up and down. So, yeah. So basically, once I have this fully printed out, the back plate will be held in by magnets, more or less. But they're also going to be held in by elastic straps, so I'm not too worried about the magnets. Basically, in between the little magnet brackets, I'm going to be putting elastic straps to hold the helmet together, and that way I can just slip it over my head and not have to worry about the magnet connections. And what I'm talking about are these things back here. These are the magnet brackets. These are meant to fit what looks to be 2 by 3 or 3 by 2 millimeter magnets, and they're labeled on the inside of the magnet holes, but you can't see it unless you look at the file, the 3D model. So yeah, so basically I'm not gonna worry too much about the magnets, because literally in between the magnets, so these two right here, these four have a bridge, like a little lip, and they're shallow enough that I don't need to worry about the magnets. So right where these two magnets are, I'm going to put an elastic strap here. And then I'm also going to put elastic straps in the jaw, so that the whole thing just opens up and then stretches closed once it's done. And then this, and yes, I test printed the back plate and the main piece of the helmet. This is the back piece, and by the way, there's a really nice like texture grid in here. But basically, this just will line up and go over the mask, and then the elastic straps will basically just hold it on. But this needs to be tight enough to the point where it fits snug on my head, but also loose enough that I can fit the brackets inside for the servo motors. And there are mounting points on the inside of that main part of the helmet. There's a mounting point right on the right underneath the widow's peak here, and then there are mounting points right here for the external brackets. This is why the external helper arm brackets are going to be different size, because these holes are going to be slightly bigger. But as far as this part, the part that actually holds the servos, that part's gonna stay the same size. And I'm dropping shit. But no, the thing that goes on the forehead will stay the same size, but the helper arms, those are gonna change depending on the size of the helmet. I have mine printing at 110%. If for those of you who don't know what that means, it's the percentage of the scale. And basically, what that means is like when you go to measure your head, you measure it, and then you blow up or shrink down the size of the helmet based on that. And this is going to be going for a couple days, give or take. It's not a full entire roll, thankfully. That's the one thing that I need to work on, is getting an Ace Pro box, which holds multiple rolls simultaneously. And once I get an Ace Pro, I will be able to use that instead of the external rack, to house multiple rolls and have it continuously print without stopping. But until then, I'm gonna have to change out rolls and extrude the plastic in order to continue going with certain parts. However, because of the way I'm going to be splitting all the parts up, I don't think any of the parts will ever get big enough to need more than one roll per print. But the chest and back will definitely be a place of needing my attention. But yeah, the stuff around the chest harness and the torso specifically is going to be the biggest component of any Iron Man suit, so you really want to make sure you break that down into parts. And try to break it down among the seam lines, instead of among the panel lines, instead of trying to break it apart without using the panel lines. Because if you try to break it apart without using panel lines and then fuse it back together or glue it back together, it's not gonna hold, or it's not gonna look good unless you sand it down. And I'm trying to do this without sanding whatsoever, at least for right now. So when I get to the torso, or specifically the upper chest, I'm gonna have to find some way to chop it up and amongst the panel lines, and figure out some way to strap those panels together, mainly due to mobility. It would help with mobility, and it would just help minimize the print time 1,000-fold. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Not a whole lot to go on. I will be updating at least weekly, depending on what I have printed and what I don't have printed. So these will be weekly updates around really just whenever I get a chance to record and post. I know that's going to bug a lot of people, that there's going to be no consistency, but at least I'll be putting out these videos in a timely manner. No later than a month, I would say. So I'm going to try my best to upload as frequently as possible, and try to do one print a week, Um, so yeah, I'll see you guys next time.